So Alabama State said, what about us? And not only that, they wanted to show you all what they're about. Coach Eddie Robinson Jr. just changed the game again, and he's just getting started. See, Coach Prime had the blueprint. And what Eddie Robinson Jr. did was look at that blueprint and say, wait a minute. I played in the NFL. I have friends who played in the NFL. Let's get them coaching jobs. There was analysts coaching in the NFL, he knows. He put them on the staff. That enhanced recruiting. They finally got a quarterback who can lead this team. Now, I don't know what record they're going to be, but each game, they'll have a fighting chance, and I'll chime in. What's good, everyone? This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Peace and blessings, peace and love to everyone that's listening. This is the top source of underground sports. I repeat, this is the top source of underground sports. It gets no better than this. Now, RawTruth Media is not for everyone. If you're sensitive, there's other channels you can go to. But let's talk about Alabama State. Man, they're killing the game right now. They have, as we speak, 6 transfers. So they got Demetrius Davis, a.k.a. D. Davis from Auburn, 4-star. Jalen Lay, 4-star. Levante Chenault and his brother plays in the NFL for the Jaguars, 4-star. Quentin Torber, 4-star. Jace Medlock, 3-star. Darius Edmonds, 3-star. That's how you do it. And so many people in the offseason was riding off of Alabama State. And for me, when I saw that Alabama State hired Eddie Robinson Jr., I wanted to give him a chance, like all new coaches. I thought he deserved that type of fairness. Eddie Robinson Jr. is not playing around right now. And he's sending a message to the whole Swac, all of HBCUs, that he's not trying to be second fiddle. He knows that there's a great team in Jackson State. He knows about Grambling improving their roster, Southern improving their roster, FAMU doing what FAMU does, and many more. He knows that. So he has to retool his roster and put dynamic athletes on that team. Now, let's talk about what Alabama State had before the transfers. We knew last season they had a young and promising offensive line. And most of their offensive line did not play in the spring. I don't know for what reason, but they didn't play in the spring. But we know who they are, and we know they have talent. Alabama State has good defense. They did last season. Matter of fact, when they played against Jackson State, that game was the closest 28-7 score I've ever seen. If Alabama State just had an inkling of offense, who knows? That's what they're missing. So they bring that defense back. On top of that, you add D. Davis, who's a winner. He won championships in Texas 6A, the top level of football in the state of Texas. He's a winner, and I wish Auburn would have gave him a fair chance. But the head coach there, Brian Harsin, he had other plans. It is what it is. But this is what you get with D. Davis. You get a face of the team. He's going to be the face of Alabama State. He's going to provide another pipeline to Houston for Eddie Robinson Jr. Again, D. Davis is very popular in that city. And you're seeing right now, and this is just the transfer portal, Alabama State's just getting started, and Eddie Robinson Jr. on Twitter has hinted that they're getting started. Out of the 6 transfers coming into Alabama State, 3 of them, and mostly 4 stars, are from the city of Houston. That tells you something. I don't want to predict what Alabama State is going to be. I still got to see what this team turns out. But if you have a quarterback in the Swac and you have some athletes, you have a chance. That's all I'll say. But right now, I know for a fact Eddie Robinson Jr. is probably having a victory cigar. And he's saying not only to himself, but his coaching staff, they really thought we were going to suck. They really thought that we was going to put out a trash team on the field. Not on his watch. If you're an Alabama State fan, you got to be excited. One thing I respect about their recruiting is they only had 6 transfers, but impact transfers. But don't forget, the high school recruiting is top notch. They've done a really good job in high school recruiting. So Eddie Robinson Jr. is clearly trying to be balanced with it. And I always say, the transfer portal is great to address weaknesses, but don't make your whole roster with transfer players. That's just how I would do it. Every coach has a different method, and I respect it. But I like that. It kind of reminds me of Grambling. Grambling has some transfer players coming in, but a lot of their players coming in are high school athletes who have a lot of potential and can contribute right away. I like it. But Swac football, it's going to be the toughest it's been in years. I'm telling you now. And we may have a year where you'll see a 5th place team and you'll say that if they were in any other conference, they would have had a better record. That's what it's going to be like. I'm saying it before it gets popular. But this is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Make sure to stay blessed, keep pushing, and keep striving. And I'm out.